real estate was part of a capitalist system, it should be cheaper than it was last year, than the year before, and then 50 years ago. But anyways, there is that belief. Next slide. This is Japan. You can see their historic blow-off and what they did. And again, I love this chart, and I put the dates on there because they said they're going to come up with 30-year mortgages, 50. Well, Japan tried 100-year amortization, and then notice prices finally bottomed when their population started to decline. So what's the argument of population? Immigration is going to drive up prices. If their population is actually declining now, there's less of them every year, but prices are rising, maybe because affordability has come back into play and Japanese are now buying homes again. So that's an important chart to demolish, to think, yes, the governments are going to try 50-year and maybe 1,000-year, but all they're trying to do is prevent creative destruction, right? Creative destruction is an evolutionary aspect, and this is why now I'm a Shantapurian Condrative. I realize that maybe I might not like what's coming to Canada, but for humanity's sake, we need to keep evolving. And the evolution means to the next level of technology. And Bitcoin is one of those, right? Because it's in the empowerment from the individuals that you guys are starting this revolution. It's not coming from top down like the UN to control you on this fabricated, the CO2 is a pollutant. I mean, that theory is going to fall apart eventually once the public realizes this is one big scam. If anything, if you do your own homework, we're being CO2 deficient at time, and we've been greening the planet. Jordan Peterson, thank God he's aware of it, and he's educating other people. I was part of the global warming until Bob Hoy, who's in the investment business, who knows about it, said, do you know this is a scam? And then I read into it and I found 3 scientists here in Canada, and they were all saying, well, what are we doing here? And realized there's an agenda behind it, to centralize power. Next slide. Oh, I repeated that, so go ahead. Minsky moment is just when the credit, the Ponzi finance finally pops. I think we're near that moment, and that is, you can see GDP's contracting. That should happen this year. And then when that happens, all that debt is revealed to be non-productive debt. And real estate is not a productive investment, right? The only productive use of debt is in industries like the capital that's going into Bitcoin, the capital that's going into 3D printing, the capital that's going into the internet revolution, the smartphone. These are productivity enhancers. It improves our standard of living. Real estate's the opposite. We're enslaving Canadians, this young generation, to buy a home they can't afford with both people and diverting good use of funds to the enjoyment of their life. You can tell I don't like real estate. Debt. And so here's the problem. I mean, this is what's going to sink the country, which it's always happened. And this is the key thing about Condrative. But what I love about the long wave is not only explains the social aspect and the credit cycles and the innovation cycles, but there's a positive coming out of this, right? And this is one of the things I want to leave you with, is that we're going to come out of this. It's going to be totally different. The good news is politics is going to go through creative destruction, right? I mean, you can see the liberals and Biden completely collapsing in the polls. Once the economy turns down hard, the Liberal Party will not exist. That's the easy forecast next year. Next slide. Now here's the thing that's important to Bitcoiners. Notice in the 1920s, during this was the monetary wave, the last time in Canada, governments were paying down debt. And then we had the Great Depression and then World War II. Well, look